Jonathan Aspropotomitis. Clayton Lewis, the new signing. Bit of a heartbreaker for the Phoenix fans. Performances and his emergence in the New Zealand national team, but they'll be expecting him to keep things ticking over throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, an important part of was the Phoenix midfield.
Here's Jed Drew, the speedster, can't chase this down. Macklin freak out to the edge of his penalty area.
For Clayton Lewis coming in to this MacArthur side and just looking to settle down the midfield, establish himself. You know, as a quality player, inject a little bit of authority into the midfield.
Aggressive pass into the middle. Berengay underneath the referee. Zabala will make it work. And the run off the ball is coming from Mile Uznic. O'Shea lifts it over the top. A little bit too much on it, and that gives us a chance to go down to the sideline and check in with Tristan McManus.
Hello, Taylor. Hello, Gracie. What a day today. The pitch is absolutely immaculate. I've got a new feeling coming into Campbelltown Stadium this morning. The first time I've seen the players wearing suits as well, which may seem like a tiny thing, but they definitely have this air about them. I think now that the Villa's back is going to be huge for them. Clayton Lewis is a great signing as well, and I absolutely love Rodriguez over on the wing there. But there's a different feel to MacArthur. I don't know, the white looks crisper, the black looks darker on their jerseys. They're feeling great, confidence is high, and it's going to need to be today against this Brisbane team who are full of confidence themselves.
Thank you, Tristan. We'll keep checking in. But it is the little things, Grace. And as simple as match day routine, we know that some players are deeply superstitious, so if they enjoyed the tracksuit and they've got to switch to the proper suit, it can be a big difference for them. Oh, you see the T-shirt there of Mile Stojovski. He's looking nice and cash, but hey, it's hot. He's got to wear a T-shirt.
It is a warm afternoon, but sometimes, yeah, just that level of professionalism showing up in a sharp suit. But for MacArthur, they've shown how much and how well they can score in these AFC Cup games, and they've shared the scoring as well. It's not just the reliance on one player, two players.
I mentioned the head-to-head with MacArthur shading at 3 wins to 2, the win probability there. Very balanced, slightly edged MacArthur's way, perhaps reflective of the small sample size of head-to-head meetings between the teams. Coletti. Crisp ball movement again from the Raw, out to the left. Mile Uznic tried to jag inside, interrupted initially, but able to reclaim possession. Coletti, now O'Shea, thought about a long shot, decided against. MacArthur pinned deep at the moment as the Raw work the ball around. Late contact, and the referee will not give advantage. He's going to whistle for a free kick here. Nikola Mile Uznic-Feld. Just the 2 goals for the Brisbane Raw last season, so he'll be looking for a better return. And that was in 20 appearances and 12 starts. So an early free kick here, and you imagine a discussion will take place involving a number of players that will fancy their chances on this angle.
We saw just moments before the play with Brisbane Raw, just the 1-2 touch passes, really, really tidy. But this is a good position on the field to test out a free kick early. It's definitely within shooting range.
There's a light wind, if anything, favouring the end that the Raw are attacking. O'Shea is going to take the free kick. It needed a touch from Philip Curto. A good early save. 10 minutes in, and it's a corner for the Brisbane Raw.
A lovely strike from Jay O'Shea. He's hit that really sweetly. It demanded a little fingertip punch over the crossbar from Philip Curto. He had to make contact there. That is a nice hit from O'Shea.
That's dipping. Do you reckon it gets under the crossbar or rattles straight into it?
I think that one needed a touch. I think it may have hit the underside of the crossbar if Curto hadn't made that contact. Really good save.
32 years old. His 110th A-League appearance today. Here comes the corner. O'Shea on set-piece duty early. First head is the Raws and requires a leap and a hold from Curto, and he's up and away trying to launch a counter-attack. Just slides beyond Davila though, so not to be for MACARTHUR. Roar have had the better of the opening 10 minutes, although MACARTHUR had the best chances to score. Back in just the second minute of the game. Henry Hall will pull up here, but he appreciates the pass over the top. ...24 years old now, closing in on 50 A-League men's games, Henry Hall. Curto is going to be hurried here in the pass, but he's confident. Fine Vujica. Germain. Now Lewis. Better from the Bulls as they build up and force Roar onto the defensive. Borges Rodriguez and the overlapping run from Yanni Nicolau. Catches a deflection and into the side netting. That could have been a dream debut for Yanni Nicolau there, the 23-year-old who was a key pillar of Rapia Leichhardt winning the NPL New South Wales title over winter. Ever present as he made 30 appearances in all competitions, including playing against Sydney FC in the Cup.
Really good move from MACARTHUR. It was the way they stretched the field, opened things up, and it just hold up the defence a little bit from Brisbane.
Wiscock, perhaps the most obvious target. Aspropotometus lurks at the back post. Corner's going to be a short routine. Jamon. Now Lewis. Lifted in. Free header! And perhaps more could have been done with it by Rafael Borges Rodriguez as he sent that header straight into Macklin Freak's gloves. And now a long clearance will scuff on. And that engages Philip Curto out of his area. End-to-end at the moment.
Well, exactly that. Really enjoyable end-to-end football at the moment. MACARTHUR, they'll want that one over again. A delightful delivery. Point-blank header. More has to be done with that, and Freak will be grateful that that's been directed right to his hands. He hasn't had to go to ground at all.
Hingett, flipped here by Jed Drew, free kick. He's going to get a talking to as well. Perhaps a warning there from Johnny Barrero not to try that again, lest he be booked. Safe to say that even though the 20-year-old Borges Rodriguez is quite lanky, he is not an aerialist. That is part of his game that is still developing.
Well, it was a prime opportunity.
Now the Roar can reply with a set piece of their own. We saw O'Shea shooting direct earlier in the half. This one considerably further away. Borges Rodriguez is the nearest defender to where the free kick is being taken. Here's O'Shea. Up and under header. Danger not yet averted. Aldred. Twisting onto his left and can't find a way past Nicolau, but his pass is intercepted. Coletti quickly to Henry Hall. Well controlled. Milosnic stood his ground. Now O'Shea. Milosnic. And a looping ball that perhaps caught a little bit of the wind and was slightly misdirected, and that will be a relief for MACARTHUR.
You see what Brisbane are trying to do, though, finding those passes between the lines. It's really good movement off the ball as well. Just on a couple of occasions now when those deliveries into the box have come, you can see the wind just hold the ball up slightly.
It's ahead. Bit of a hospital pass for Clayton Lewis, and Johnny O'Shea was able to anticipate it straight away. Backus presented for the ball. Curto, you can see Berengay happy to press the keeper. Will it force a mistake? Nicolau keeps it in. Wiscock. With the ball starting to hold up whenever MACARTHUR play a long ball into the wind.
Well, it's really good pressing work by Berengay, and if nothing less, it forces a long ball from MACARTHUR's defence, and very quickly Brisbane have stepped in to reclaim that first touch.
Scott Neville now. The Raw have not spent much time playing it around their defence, if any, through the first 16 minutes. O'Shea being pressed here. Germain defending from the front. And then you heard the grunt from Henry Hoare as he was fouled by the Frenchman. Youth international, long Ligue 1 career. Playing for the likes of Monaco, Olympique Marseille, and most recently Montpellier. MacArthur not deterred by the Brisbane press, but that is a mistake and a giveaway. Henry Hoare. He's going to shoot on the tight angle. Ultimately didn't like his options in the middle, but he fired over, and the Raw press continues to bear fruit.
Well, the Raw press is working. It's picked up really well in the middle by Brisbane. Henry Hoare, little glance up. I don't mind his decision there to go for the shot, but it has to be on target. You have to test the keeper if you are going to shoot. For Brisbane Raw, this high press is really working out well for them so far.
7 career goals in the A-League men's for Henry Hoare. Bacchus caught in possession now. It's starting to become a real issue for the Bulls as they play out from the back. Aspropotamitis goes down the line this time, but Brisbane again have a contest to make. Jed Drew did well. And now he can show us his straight line speed. Jed Drew's away. Who's on for him though? Not much. At the end of that cross, other than the goalkeeper's gloves.
We'll be disappointed with that, Jed Drew. We know he's a fast player, really direct. Had enough time to pick out a delivery, pick out a cross, and that wasn't the right one.
I think after a couple of hair-raising moments in defence, it was just the excitement of a youngster getting to break the shackles there and dash off down the wing. 20-year-old Jed Drew was a young Socceroos teammate in the most recent under-20s international tournament of Rafael Borges Rodriguez. Often those two were being subbed for each other or playing on opposing wings. It's exciting though, that's the profile of the league at the moment. Young, optimistic players that have bright futures, and you never know where they might end up. If they go on to be long-time A-League stalwarts, will the many watching eyes of scouts and clubs come in for them? Safe to say the profile of the competition has been enhanced significantly by some of the overseas sales that have gone on in the most recent off-season. So we see the Raw here, and one of their bright sparks, Coletti. Header from Bacchus, just trying to get it back to his keeper by any means necessary.
Well, you're right, Taylor, been one of the biggest off-season transfer windows that the A-League has seen, and it just speaks to the quality of the players that are going abroad. Young guys breaking into Europe, breaking into Scandinavia. It's brilliant to see as well for the league.
Nicolau. And now De Vere. Borges Rodriguez. Also back to Yanni Nicolau. Enjoying a bit more time in possession. We've seen Raw possess the ball in very advanced territory, so the Bulls now are starting to bring a bit of balance back to the contest. Long, hopeful ball here is going to be a little bit too skinny for Jed Drew to wheel around, and Macklin Freak is able to consolidate. And after the initial 20-minute surge from both teams, perhaps now the game will just drop down a gear as both teams have sussed each other out. We see MacArthur there with a much higher XG due to basically the goal line shots of Kieran Bacchus. Raw, I think 0.09 sells a little bit short how close it feels like they've come to scoring through the course of the game so far.
Yeah, it has been a fairly entertaining, energetic opening 20 minutes. Whether or not both teams can maintain this kind of intensity as the game wears on. Again, I mentioned a hot afternoon at Campbelltown. Some really good football being played by both sides, and the Raw rather feeling a little hard done by with that .09 XG. They have looked to create some really good chances.
2 shots on target for them so far. Here's Aspropotomitis. Nicolau looking right at home in the A-League so far. That pass, though, when he would like back. Berenguer. Henry Hall. MacArthur definitely not pressing with the same urgency as the Raw are when it's MacArthur in possession in their defensive third. Lewis. De Vere. Neat pass. Germain. Flag up offside. Andre Giev over on the outer side.
Yeah, a little glance over the shoulder there from Germain would have told him that he was well and truly in an offside position. He's not looking too convinced, but a really exciting prospect for MacArthur, his pedigree in France.
Coletti. Uznic presented for the ball. Coletti again. Henry Hall has Hingett creating an overload on the right. Berenguer. Bacchus interrupted briefly. Raw won back possession immediately. Jay O'Shea, Bacchus again, snapping at the heels. Can't win possession though. Zabala. Coletti. Neat run from Zabala on the underlap. Appeals for handball. Arms look to be tucked into the body. Referee waved it away immediately. The ball will find its way out. The Raw are going to at least ask the question here of Johnny Barrero. I think De Vere's made his opinion clear.
Yeah, De Vere happy to wave that one away. For a moment it did look to be an elbow, but definitely the arms nice and close to the body.
Play restarts quickly enough to suggest that it was incidental contact and play on. Neat touch from Henry Hall. Hingett starting to make more ground down the right side. Feeds it back. Henry Hall at the byline and turned behind for a corner. And that Raw build-up play continuing on show. Grace, talk us through it.
Well, this is a look at the shout for a handball. It was the elbow there. Arms were pinned behind the body. Definitely comes off the elbow.
I mean, even if you're holding your hands behind your back and you stick your elbows out as far as you want, that's probably the question. Raw fans may feel very differently about that little shout. It came and went pretty quickly though, and now they have a corner to work with here, looking for an opening goal. Corner kick from Jay O'Shea, and defensive header from Aspropotomitis. O'Shea, second ball. This time blocked away by the body of Jed Drew. Raw asking for a handball again.
Well, they're definitely going to want the referee to have a look at it.
As it's Raw's throw, they might just take their time here, hoping that it'll be assessed. Johnny Barrero, his body language tells the story. I think that when the referee gives you that look, you know you're not going to get the call on this one. And so the Raw will restart play with a throw. MacArthur on the defensive, about a quarter of the way through the day's action. Scoreless, but not for a lack of trying from both teams. And the flag is up for offside, so we're not getting a decision at the moment. The Raw Let's have a look at handball shout part 2.
Well, this is the second shout. And I think perhaps the Raw fans will be asking the question yet again. It's twice in as many minutes that hands have been pretty close to the body, but on the Raw side of the fence, I think you'd be shouting pretty loudly, at least for one of those.
Let's see if the cumulative effect of their attacking pressure can eventually break through. MacArthur just going for a long ball to flip the field, and Jed Drew picking the pocket of Hingett here very cleverly. Cuts back inside. A teasing ball over the head of both Schumann and also Borges Rodriguez. And Zavala is able to prevail with possession. Boos ring out from the home fans now. Again, working to an extent. That time, all's well that ends well, but it just plants the seed in the MacArthur minds, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and perhaps a little passive from MacArthur at the moment. The midfield looks well and truly in control in Brisbane, and they're pressing really well, winning the ball back. That is a hefty challenge, that one.
Wietzer crashed in late. Play continues. The Raw taking advantage. Hingett. Jay O'Shea wanted to slide it back through the right. Clayton Lewis there. Repelling. Drew. Diffused by Neville.
Neville, he hasn't been tested too much in this first half, but always really composed. Another look at that late challenge coming in onto Coletti.
So no card given. Play continues. And it was fumbled out there by Henry Hoare. Ivan Vujica, is he a little bit lucky?
I think he probably is a little bit with that one. Very, very late on that sliding tackle.
Coletti. Great movement from O'Shea to drag the ball out of midfield and launch an attack here. Henry Hoare goes to ground, still wins a corner.
I'm really enjoying this matchup we're seeing between Henry Hoare and Vujica. Really physical. Vujica's done well there, had to go to ground, had to make the challenge, and had to time it perfectly.
Well, after barely playing for 2 seasons, Ivan Vujica become a bastion of reliability. 26 appearances last season, only subbed off once. He's a key part of this MacArthur defence. And defenders what they have to do here, because the Raw have got Zavala free, and a deflection takes it into the post. Both teams claim it's their ball. Raw want a corner. Zavala is still thinking about how close he was to his first A-League goal.
Oh, it's a lovely driven delivery from Jay O'Shea. Zavala, hands on the head. Had a bit more time, I think, than he thought he did.
I don't think it would have been his goal either. I think Florent Berenguer, that's a significant enough touch to perhaps deny him. Still, corner kick the result. Half an hour, which the Raw have had the better of. Jay O'Shea. In swinging corner, first head, Uskok. Coletti. Zavala. And Curto will prevent it going out for another corner kick. Push here on Clayton Lewis, free kick MacArthur. There's a look at where the game is taking place. Dominantly in the midfield third and down at the attacking end of the Brisbane Roar. So MacArthur attempting to launch a rare forward foray, but you saw Wietze with the arms outstretched there. No one presenting for the ball. Lewis, a more hopeful pass. And not able to meet Jedru this time. Hingert has got a read on how MacArthur like to attack that flank now.
Much needed intervention from Hingert there. You can see for MacArthur, they're just looking up, void of options. And this is where the midfield is really being dominated by the Raw. Jay O'Shea pulling the strings, controlling what's happening in the middle of the park. And for MacArthur at the moment, their options really are just looking to funnel it wide or go long.
Now here goes Berenguer. More shouts for handball, and this time the whistle goes, but it's outside the penalty area. In a very dangerous position too.
Well, outside of the penalty area, but just. And this one, of the last couple of shouts, you'd have to say would be the most clear-cut, an obvious hand, and a very, very dangerous spot for a free kick.
Do you let Jay O'Shea take it again, or a raw? Look at the conference going on. A couple of players discussing who's the best option here. Philip Curto setting a MacArthur wall. Nikola Mileusnic planted himself over the ball here, so he's firmly in the conversation. Jay O'Shea arguing about how far back the wall is. Is this Brisbane's moment to get reward for the first half, where they have looked bright? They need an end product. 5 in the wall. Curto waits on the line. Jay O'Shea whispering in the ear of Nikola Mileusnic. What are they cooking up here? It's Mileusnic. And it's an anticlimax.
Disappointing there for Mileusnic. You can tell with the technique that he hit that free kick. He was going for the knuckleball, hoping that that would dip dramatically. Idea was there, but execution far from it.
So a dangerous defensive stand is dealt with by MacArthur, and now Borges Rodriguez can drive them into attack. De Vere in space, crowd urging him to shoot. He goes to Jedru, and the ball is deflected wide. De Vere mishit it. Incredible.
Well, he knows as well, De Vere. One of the most clear-cut chances MacArthur have had so far. Jedru, unselfish, to centre the ball back in, and De Vere really just has to walk that one into the back of the net. Just caught the heel of that right foot. Disappointing.
Given the amount of competitive football MacArthur have played, you can hardly say it's round one rust. They've had both the Australia Cup and the AFC Cup. It's an uncharacteristic skill error from one of the best players in the league. Cross in here, will tumble on. Valerie Germain unable to bring it down to feet level. Now it's the Raw's turn to defend. And even though they've had the territory, Grace, in terms of clear-cut opportunities, MacArthur will be ruining the misses of their own.
You can see MacArthur on the counter and on that transition play have looked really dangerous on a couple of occasions now. This first half just ticks away. Raw certainly have had the better of the possession, more action in their attacking half.
Free kick taken quickly. Nicolau ranging forward, showing his athletic capability, crashes into Tom Aldred, and the attack stops with him. Zabala, long ball. First touch by Mileusnic, and he's done well to win a throw. That'll take Brisbane out of defence. Here's another look at Tom Aldred. Block tackle on Yanni Nicolau. Just under 10 minutes of regulation until half-time. Vujica, challenged by Hingett. Back in Vujica. Puts that out next to his team bench. A little overzealous in the challenge here. Nicolau blown up for a foul. Henry Hall. With a number of attackers forward. Lever from O'Shea, and the shot goes just wide to the left. Taras Gamulka. It's not been really a feature of Raw's attacking play so far, but he was the man on the end of the attacking chain.
Something that Hall does really well. Hugs the sideline, finds the feet of O'Shea. Neat little back heel as well. Gamulka has been relatively quiet to start, but just drifting a little higher up the field.
Today is game number 51 in the A-League for him. He's still yet to score an A-League men's goal. And we know this is where MacArthur have been so dangerous on the counter-attack. Borges Rodriguez, head down, takes on Zavala, who knocks it out towards the flank, and Germain thought for all money he was winning a throw there, and then had Zavala still trying to keep the ball in. So it'll be interesting to see what MacArthur do here when they've got a more static attacking situation, Grace, because we know that they're good on the counter-attack, but this is where De Vere in enclosed spaces might have to weave some magic. Very enclosed space. Look at the raw numbers around the ball, and they win it back with relative ease. O'Shea sets Coletti a task. He keeps it moving for Hingett. Now it's the Raw's turn to go at breakneck speed. Hingett just decelerates a little. That allows MacArthur to structure up defensively. De Vere. Attracting attention wherever he goes. Referee gives advantage for the foul. Germain to Drew. Bacchus, De Vere, sees Borges Rodriguez. Nicolau's going on the overlap. He's going to have to sweep in on quite the angle, though. And Milosnic ultimately has conceded a corner, so not the cleanest attacking passage from MacArthur, but they still get a corner for their work.
Shake of the head from Milosnic. I think he had a bit more time on that clearance than perhaps he thought, but MacArthur felt as though they were building towards something there. Look a lot better when they get that switch play in nice and early and just stretch out Brisbane Raw's shape a little.
Hear the voice of Macklin Freak carrying as the in-swinging corner glances through the penalty area. Near post run from Uscock, and you see it hit the flag. Now it goes out. It's a throw instead of a goal kick.
It was a really tricky delivery to deal with. Whipped low and hard. Managed to evade everyone on its way through.
Berenguer. Stuck in a 1-on-2. Jed Drew ultimately has to yield as Raw win the throw. Through 2 A-League goals so far in his career. The last of which was in January, though. Back pass here. Germain just creating a presence. Neville. And for the first time, really, we see MacArthur pressing to force a mistake out of Brisbane.
Germain, 33 years old, you imagine would want to receive the kind of delivery to feet. He won't be much of a running striker. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but needs that good delivery in and around the box. And at the moment, a lot of MacArthur's play, as mentioned, has been either out wide or for a direct ball over the top. The experienced French striker, I imagine, will want that one close to his body.
Once scored in 2019 for Marseille against Paris Saint-Germain. Defence that had the likes of Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, Dani Alves, Presnel Kimpembe, Levin Kazawa. So he's done it against the best in the world, Valère Germain, but we're talking about something 4 years ago now. Hopefully he's still got everything required to be a top-level striker in the A-League too. Lewis. Now it's Propotomitis to Vietza. Still Lewis, moving well. Sweeping pass, Germain. Knocks it on. Borges Rodriguez has to tail back towards the line. Underlapping run is clever from Bacchus. Now Nicolau prods it across. High up and under ball, difficult to read in the swirl. Eventually it sits for Vietza. Whose concentration will hold up at the end of the first half? A high-paced one at that. That's Propotomitis. A little risky. Gamulka, well, eventually forces him into yielding possession.
That's good energy late into the first half from Brisbane. The press from Mile Jusnic had a long way to go, and to Gamulka's credit, he followed suit. Brisbane Roar have won possession back.
Hingett, Henry Hawke. Able to squeeze out of a jam. And the ball goes out ultimately for a goal kick. Who's the happier coach at halftime?
That's a great question. I think Brisbane Roar...
You can say neither if it's a tie.
Oh, look, I think Brisbane will feel a little aggrieved that they haven't made the most of a really positive first half. You mentioned they're missing youngster Tom Waddingham as exceptional in his last few appearances, 4 goals in 4 games. They're without him today, so the question is, where are these goals going to come from for Brisbane? And for MacArthur, they've had a couple of really clear-cut chances that perhaps fewer than that of Brisbane, but needed to do better with them. It's a long way of saying perhaps neither coach are happy.
Will be fascinating to see what substitution strategy the teams go with in the second half. Raw have 3 potential A-League debutants among their substitutes. Jonas Markovski, who we saw in the Australia Cup, 16-year-old Ryland Brownlee, and also James Nikolovsky, 21-year-old, who is also waiting in the wings. MacArthur, a lot of familiar names that we've seen in previous seasons as substitute players, such as Jake Holman, Charles Mombois, Lockie Rose could be the catalyst, Ali Orgler, who we got a taste of last season. Deep benches on a warm day as we see MacArthur trying to finish the first half with a bang. Jet Drew, good save by Macklin Freak. On a tight angle, had it covered.
The top save by Macklin Freak had to be as well. Jet Drew, we know that speed, he is rapid when he gets into a bit of space, and they're those moments from MacArthur. Just opens up really nicely for them.
Big save right in the last minute of regulation at the end of the first half. We're about to find out how much stoppage time here at Campbelltown.
I'll say those moments unlocked as well by Clayton Lewis. His passing range really delightful. Jed Drew, he has had a couple.
2 additional minutes to end the first half. Will we see a goal before the break? Zabala, Milausnic, nice little chop step. Perengay, oh, couldn't find O'Shea with the cutback. Kieran Backus in the right position. Neville. Now Hinga. Moved on quickly. Gamulka got wiped out. Play continues. Coletti. And that'll be a corner kick. So Raw looking to finish the half as they started. But here's the save from Macklin Freak.
Oh, it's a delightful pass as well from Vojica. Brilliant save from Freak. Great positioning to cover his near post. And Jed Drew, that's a really intelligent run as well across the back of Neville.
You imagine that a winger like Jed Drew, who cuts in the way he does, is practicing those across the keeper shots into the opposite corner non-stop. So the goalkeeper has to get it right. Here's the corner. Can Raw finish the half with a bang? Aldred's up, didn't make the contact he was after, and Vojica hooks the ball away.
Vojica's had a really busy first half. A lot of work up against Henry Hoare, but good cover in defensive duties as well.
You can see here, MacArthur in absolutely no hurry. Perhaps they're satisfied enough with 0-0. A half where they had great chances. Kieran Backus so close to his first A-League men's goal. Ulysses Tavia with an uncharacteristic shank. Still yet to put Valère Germain in a scoring position though. It's not half-time, it's offside. Play restarts with MacArthur switching flanks. And they won't have time to go forward. So an enterprising but ultimately goalless first half. Good fare so far. The question is, who will break the deadlock in Campbelltown? Macklin Freak had a big say in keeping the game scoreless with a couple of important stops, and you see him kiss the goalpost like he's Gianluca Pagliuca at half-time. It's MacArthur 0, Brisbane Roar 0. Stay with us here on 10 Play and Paramount Plus. The halftime show is on the other side.
The spectators must comply with the Isuzu daily terms of mission and the venue's conditions of entry, including provisions relating to security screening and intoxication. Any spectator identified with a prohibited item or assesses unduly intoxicated may be refused entry, evicted from the stadium, potentially banned from attending future matches, and handed over to police for further questioning. We ask you to respect your fellow spectators by refraining from illegal and dangerous activities. The A-League's professional footballers of Australia and football coaches of Australia are taking a stand against online bullying in Australian football. There is no place for racism, abuse or hate in our sport. Play it fair. Flares are illegal at our venues. If you possess or throw a flare, there are severe penalties that apply. Any spectator identified with a prohibited item may be refused entry, evicted from the stadium, potentially banned from attending future matches, and handed over to police for further questioning. A financial fine will also be issued. We ask you to respect your fellow spectators by refraining from illegal and dangerous activities. Don't miss the superstars of the Liberty A-League women and the Isuzu UTE League men. Every round, every game, live only on Paramount Plus. Sign up today for a 7-day free trial for new customers only. Terms and conditions apply. Visit ParamountPlus.com for details. Every round, every game, live only on Paramount Plus.
A-League begins. It's a new season. It's where the journey begins, where the dreams ascend, and expectations rise. It's the beauty of the businesses, the finest scenes, the fate of different years. It's always football. It's the passion.
Hello there and welcome back to Campbelltown Stadium just in time for the Hungry Jacks half-time show. As it stands 0-0 here between MacArthur Bulls and Brisbane Roar. Both teams huffing and puffing from moment 1 to moment 47. Unfortunately, no goals as yet. To keep you up to date and to tell you all about the first half, I'm going to try now to Teo and to Grace Gill for the Harvey Norman highlights.
Yes, thank you, Tristan, of which there were plenty of Harvey Norman highlights in that first half, Grace. Just none of them were goals, and we nearly had a goal in the very first minute, and it would have been quite the milestone for Kieran Backus had either of these chances gone in.
Well, this is very early on in the game as well, and there was some really delightful, intricate passing. But neither side could capitalise on that and pop it away, but early chances at both ends. I'd have to say, Brisbane Roar probably settled into the game and felt the momentum come through, and this one from Jay O'Shea really, really close.
And certainly MacArthur, when they did venture forward, they had great opportunities. Rafael Borges Rodriguez still developing his aerial game there, no real power behind the header. And then the Brisbane Roar press, there was about a 10-minute spell where it was really noticeable how much trouble it was causing MacArthur playing out from the back.
A few times it was up to Philip Curto to release the pressure for MacArthur, but to their credit, the Brisbane Roar press was really successful for the most part. Good shape, good movement to pick up some of those stray passes, and Brisbane Roar, hands on the head, would want to have done better with a few moments, as would have MacArthur, to be fair.
Their transition game, counter-attacking, actually looked really fluent at times, but Valère Germain hasn't exactly been a part of it. This was great interplay between Drew and De Vere, and just uncharacteristic from De Vere. You don't see that very often.
You don't, and he knew it as well, but between De Vere, between Drew, Clayton Lewis has had a couple of really bright moments in view. It's a busy half. This one as well, Jed Drew would love to have again. It was a great save from Freak, who was very busy in the opening 45 minutes. But this game hasn't been without its chances.
So there are the numbers to half-time. I can tell you that XG's 1.14 to 0.49, but what other stats jump out at you off the page, Grace, reflecting that first half?
Yeah, I think for the most part, the big chances, MacArthur, although they haven't had much of the possession, it's been in Brisbane Roar's favour. It's really those big moments that they just haven't put away. Let's
see how that reflects in the individual stats then, with the Paramount Plus player index. Macklin Freaks top of the pile. When you have a couple of point-blank saves, that normally speaks to that. Jay O'Shea always consistent. Grace, is there anyone missing who you think their game has, with the eye test, maybe belied the numbers with the likes of Curto, Milosnic and Hingett rounding out that top five?
Yeah, well, Freak certainly for me, finishing up at the top there, that makes a lot of sense. As for players missing out, I think that's shaking out in a pretty sort of fair way at the moment. We'll see into the second 45 minutes how the player index looks to form out.
So here is our number one player on the pitch in the first half. It's Macklin Freak. This is an underrated save, and then we ended up talking a lot about Jack Hingett bailing him out after that, but it's this moment here. I mean, there'd be nothing worse than to concede a goal in the first minute of the season.
Well, it was the first minute and a half of the game. And on a few occasions, Macklin Freak, his positioning has been really good. Technique on these saves, excellent as well. So often with goalkeepers, this one's got to be pushed out into oncoming traffic, but he's managed to clear that really well, a strong leg.
Let's throw it back down to the sideline now. Tristan McManus, take it away.
Thanks, Tay. I'm here with Danny De Silva. Danny, great start, first game of the season. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. Look, obviously we've had some really good chances. You know, we're unlucky right there at the start, but I think if we keep playing our game, getting the ball wide, getting into the box, I think we'll create more chances and, you know, hopefully nick a goal.
I'm happy with it. I don't know, how do you think Mile is going to go? I mean, we're always interested to know what it's like in the change room there at half-time. Plenty of positives, but I don't know if any coach would be happy after that first half.
Yeah, look, I think with the chances that we had, and to come out still 0-0, I think, he's probably not happy about that. I think we need to be a bit more clinical in the final third and finish our chances. So, yeah, I think he'll probably say something about that. And, also keeping it tight at the back. They've had a few chances, hit the post, lucky. But, just being solid there. And I think we just go again in the second half.
You're getting a lot of look along the wings. I mean, Jed is absolutely lightning there. Raphael on the other side as well. I mean, if you're on there, because you're making such a difference, it's a huge season for you now as well.
Yeah, look, definitely. Look, Jed's obviously stepped in there on the left. He done really well in this half. He's obviously very quick, and Raf as well. We're getting a lot of joy down the side there, and hopefully if we keep giving them the ball and things like that, then they'll create chances, and then hopefully when I get back in there fit again, I'll be able to do the same.
Yeah, most definitely. Trip to Cambodia is coming up now as well. Tell us a little bit about that early doors. Certainly with the new players coming in, getting away with the team as well. What does that do for confidence around the place?
Yeah, obviously always a trip away with the squad is always good for team bonding and to just create a good environment. Obviously we had success in our last trip, so we're looking to carry that on in our next trip, and obviously fantastic opportunity to play in the AFC Cup. So everybody's looking forward to it. We've got to be smart with our playing minutes and all that, because we got quick turnarounds. But everyone's looking forward to it, and they'll look after us, I'm sure.
I was mentioning at the start about all you guys in the suits. Jesus, you look beautiful. But when are we going to see you in the kit? When are we hoping to see you back on the pitch?
Yeah, look, hopefully as soon as possible. A few more weeks probably still to go. But I'm working hard to get as fit as I can so that I can, once I come back, stay in for the rest of the season. But yeah, definitely working hard and looking forward to coming back for sure.
I know you like that little comment. I saw a little smile on his face there. That is the end of the Hungry Jacks halftime show. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Have a go on.
This year's Alex Tobin Medal is brought to you by Isuzu Ute, awarded to the best player of the season as nominated by the Paramount ANZ football team. The winner of the prestigious award will receive $10,000. Plus, the Isuzu Ute Alex Tobin medalist will nominate a junior football club of choice to win a brand new, top-of-the-range Isuzu D-Max or 7-seat MUX to be announced during the grand final. To stay in touch with the leaderboard, tune in for weekly updates at your home of football.
Welcome back to Campbelltown Stadium, where Brisbane Roar are out onto the pitch first, looking to sharpen up in the second half and find the first goal of their Isuzu Ute A-League men's season. Still no sign of the Bulls. Oh, here they are, out of the tunnel now. And this time rejoined by former Matilda Grace Gill. Grace, who do you think will take the risk and the initiative to score first here in the second half?
I think both teams will be looking to take the risk, taking the initiative. As for who's going to open up the floodgates first, it could really fall either way. If Brisbane play the way they did in that first 45 minutes, high intensity, good high pressing, it could be them. But for MACARTHUR, they had some really clear-cut chances that they'll have wanted to do a lot better with.
Jed Drew testing the goalkeeper right at the end of the first half. He's been a pacey outlet on the wing for MACARTHUR. Let's see if that continues in the second 45. Everyone's almost back in place now to get the action back underway. Macklin Freak will be hoping to keep that clean sheet intact. And it is one of those new Raw faces, Warren Berengay, who is waiting over kick-off here. 34 years old now, and his last goal was back in February for Melbourne City. 10 and 107 over the course of his time with the team in City Blue, but we know he's such a great creator. It's not just about the finishing, so we'll see what he can conjure up here in this second half. With kicks off now with the score at 0-0. No substitutions made by either team at the half-time break, meaning neither team has turned to the bench so far. And we'll wait and see who is first to act then as they look for game changes, or maybe just the new burst and the freshness out of the rooms at the start of the second half might be enough. Immediately the Raw look to move forward, but last touch off Berengay. And it means it will be a MACARTHUR throw-in. Taking a look at the lineups for those of you who've joined us during the halftime break. They'll be appearing at the bottom of your screen. This is one of the debutants today, Yanni Nicolau, moving the ball on to Rafael Borges Rodriguez. And Tom Aldred. We haven't had to call his name too much, Aldred. Perhaps reflective of the Raw. They haven't had to face a lot of set pieces. They haven't had to defend a lot of corners. And MACARTHUR have largely attacked at speed rather than in the air. See how much more they can test him in this second half. Germain, good ball to Drew. Jed Drew with a low slider. And there's Tom Aldred right on cue. A goal-saving challenge to deny Rafael Borges Rodriguez.
A huge chance for MACARTHUR. I think we got a little glimpse of the quality of Valère Germain as well. That release ball really opened things up for MACARTHUR.
Body position was all important there. Coletti slides it through for Berengay, and at the other end, lunging out, not able to make contact. Brisbane Roar. Taras Gamulka again, who we saw fire a shot in the first half. Getting into good positions. Grace, here's the first attack.
Very similar attacks at either end. And so close for Borges Rodriguez. And as I said, a really similar kind of build-up play with that ball across the face of the goal. End-to-end stuff, just as the first half. The second half has started in a similar fashion. Lovely touches there.
You never anticipate, though, that it's going to be someone who's not scored in 50 games in Taras Gamulka, who's at the end of your attacking move. Here's De Vere. Now Germain has to go to ground to keep the ball in. He had a screening defender coming across, and then only succeeded in popping it up to the goalkeeper.
It was a lovely release pass from De Vere, and perhaps Germain not quite having the speed to get on the end of it.
So renewed vigour at the start of the second half. Miliusnic winning a corner for the Brisbane Roar. Works to the edge of the box. Jay O'Shea, Miliusnic, not the first touch he was hoping for, but Henry Hall keeps the attack alive. Coletti didn't catch it how he was hoping.
Coletti will be disappointed with that. Didn't get the purchase behind the shot that he would have liked. Really good position just inside the 18-yard box.
Joe Coletti, who spent the 22-23 season with Tagichi City in Japan. They're not in the J-League system. They're in the 5th tier of Japanese football. Now finds himself back in Australia. Jedru. Germain, what's he like from distance? Deflection takes all the sting out of the attempt. But just get the feeling that he wanted to get in on the fun. He wanted to test himself and fire a shot.
Well, understandably so as well. It was really good pressure from Aldred to close down the space and block the shot. And Aldred is such an important part of this Brisbane Roar defence. Hasn't had a huge amount to do this afternoon, but nonetheless the leadership, positioning at the back, and in those key moments he has stood up.
Still plenty of space for Raw to play out of defence. Now the MacArthur midfield pinch, and they're able to win the ball back. Lewis shooting from distance. Having to catch Macklin Freak flat-footed, but couldn't put it in the corner.
We had a couple of really dangerous passes in that first half. Clayton Lewis, his eyes lit up. Didn't quite direct that where he would have liked to do so, but his qualities, Lewis.
So the Roars turn to ponder how they play out from defence. MacArthur taking up a slightly more advanced position here at the start of the second half. And that pass will gift them the ball straight back. So a brisk first 5 minutes. How long will the pace sustain before the coaches turn to the bench? Vujica. Aaron Gay fell to the ground, but he's back up here to challenge Bacchus. Win probability updated since the first half. For those of you that remember, it was, I think, 41 for MacArthur at kickoff. So the draw has moved into favouritism from here. It's not what anyone wants to see in round one, because I suspect that's only because the game is goalless. We'll see if a goal can swing that either way. Here's Lewis. Drew. Jed Drew slid on. De Vere went to ground. Gets some help from Borges Rodriguez. And it's another point-blank save from Macklin Freak to deny Jed Drew. Lewis. MacArthur still forcing the issue. Borges Rodriguez! He makes amends for the first half and buries the header here. It's a great league introduction to his new club for Rafael Borges Rodriguez. Just his second Isuzu Ute A-League men's goal.
The Lewis coming for MacArthur. It was testing. Had been building for some time, and on the Harvey Norman replay, we get a look at that first save from Macklin Freak off his line really well, and it's the left foot of Clayton Lewis. We've seen a few deliveries this game so far, quality, but Borges Rodriguez rises above the rest. Time to perfection, and that ripples the back of the net. MacArthur Bulls are in front.
Great moment for the 20-year-old. We mentioned in the first half that his only other A-League men's goal was against the Brisbane Roar, so he will be delighted. And as a winger, there's nothing better than going 1 from 1 on the first day of the league season.
Not a bad return at all, and he has had his chances in this game so far as well. Clayton Lewis building into the first part of this game, his delivery on that left foot. Really tricky for Brisbane to deal with. It was a well-taken finish.
Raw need a response. And they could get it quickly. Milejuznic, Gamulka, neat pass. Not able to link up with Berengay. I think the riskiest thing MacArthur could do now is sit back on this lead, because we saw how dangerous Roar looked when they were able to control the ball in advanced territory in that first half.
What we've seen early from this second half as well is a bit of higher pressure from the Bulls. Just putting Brisbane's defence under a little bit. Putting the ball higher up the field, and it's fallen into their favour, and they've gone ahead. Brisbane will be frustrated, but you've got to say MacArthur have created some really clear-cut opportunities of their own.
Coletti, Berengay at the edge of the box. Now Milojuznic. Well, he might have had designs on a corner rather than the centre. Mile Stajovski, the MacArthur coach, knows his team now has something to play with.
Remember as well that chance that Borges Rodriguez had in the first half, the point-blank header that fell kindly to the hands of Freak, but the second time of asking, there's nothing Freak could have done about that finish.
Ross Aloisi, his team has gone behind, he's going to act. Changes on the way. It's going to be an A-League men's debut for Jonas Markovski, and Kai Truen is going to be called upon as well. We're going to see those changes right now. So, first change is Taras Gomulka coming off for Jonas Markovski. And we're also going to see Louis Zavala leave the game for Kai Truen. Truen, who no doubt will be determined to win his spot in the team back. This is his 80th appearance for the Roar, and he played 25 starts last season in his 26 appearances. So the fact he's on the bench today will be maybe a personal challenge to him to go and win his spot in the team back.
Especially as the team trails. Big 35 minutes coming up for Brisbane, coming up for those two substitutes. Fresh legs on a warm afternoon. But not a bad performance as well by both Gomulka and Zavala. Zavala will feel a little hard done by. I thought he'd had a pretty sound game, and it was just that last one-on-one challenge that Borges Rodriguez rose above.
Well, he showed a marked improvement from the totally open header that he had in the first half, and ultimately volunteered straight to the keeper. So, will the subs make a difference for the Roar as the ball deflects out? Jonas Markovski is the other player on. It's a remarkable rise, Grace. At the start of the 2020 season, which was cancelled due to COVID, he was on the books of Lalor United Slogger in the 6th tier of the game in Australia. He was about to go and play State League 2 in Victoria, and now he finds himself in the A-League 3 years later. An incredible rise. He was, of course, the NPL Victoria Golden Boot in the winter just finished with 19 goals. Here's Jed Drew, shooting, nearly 2. And he didn't get the bend that he was hoping for on the shot.
That's another good run by Jed Drew. He's tested on a few occasions this afternoon, and that shot looked up, considered the options, and did well to get that away quickly. Hardly any backlift on the strike. But those two subs really suggest the attacking intent. Ross Aloisi knows he's got a game on his hands to chase here. A couple of sets of fresh legs.
And just on Markovski, you can't help but think that if that season hadn't been cancelled due to COVID, a lot of players who might have been ready to play socially got the hunger back when they were told they couldn't play. It makes a huge difference. Of course, outside of A-League level, both the 2020 and 2021 winter seasons were hugely interrupted around the country. And now we see Jonas Markovski lining up in the A-League. Here's Coletti. Henry Hoare. Coletti. Clayton Lewis, 1 assist, now going to work in midfield. And Aldred sends the ball back to his keeper. Not even at the hour mark yet, so still plenty of time for twists and turns in this one. Here's Jay O'Shea. No doubt will have a huge role in getting the Roar back into this game if they are to do so. Down the line from Truan. Here's Mileuznich. Looping to the edge of the box. Henry Hoare. Berengay. Mileuznich, the shot's on. He prods it into no man's land, really. And the foul ultimately is conceded by Markovski as MacArthur had numbers around the ball.
A little unconvincing defensively there for MacArthur. Just allowing the ball to drop and have a think about it, if not for the foul. Markovski.
With Nikola Mileuznich, we saw earlier in the half the shot that he just shot straight into the gloves of Curto, and now in two minds about a shot or across. The decision-making, what needs to change for Brisbane to execute better?
I think what we've seen in terms of really good play from Brisbane is that nice, intricate passing, good combinations, and occasionally you need to switch that up with a bit of directness. Just try your chance at it to get yourself in a good position, unleash a shot. Just put doubt into the mind of the goalkeeper on whether or not you're going to pass or shoot. Brisbane have spent plenty of time in their attacking third to do that.
Jay O'Shea out of the shadows, but not into the penalty box. A combination of Uscock and Lewis are going to send the ball out into space, and that's where Jed Drew can tear away. Germain making ground in the middle. Drew. Brilliantly done on the ball, and then he's not able to find a teammate. So after the hard work to lose his marker, the cross was booted away.
He's getting better and better as the game wears on. Fatigued legs and runs here. A great cut from Drew. Absolutely sent Scott Neville packing.
Lewis. Dangerous last time he was over on this left flank, and dangerous again as he wins a free kick.
Clayton Lewis asking for a little bit more from the crowd, just imploring them to help lift the team.
So in a set-piece situation like this, Brisbane Roar probably do have the height advantage, so the quality of the delivery will have to be spot on. Will it be Jed Drew? He leaves it for Clayton Lewis. Out-swinging free kick. Henry Hoare, who gave the free kick away, wins the first header. And then Truan gets it into the midfield area. Germain, well, if he was onside, he didn't make the contact he needed. Looks as though the flag stayed down. Good movement by the Frenchman, but not the finish. Coletti given space, so tries to advance the ball, but Roar are heading backwards. Berengay. Threading it through the right, neatly done. Hingett cuts it back. Here's Henry Hoare. And a good save by Curto. One of Roar's better chances of the second half. And in the space, Henry Hoare couldn't get the better of the Polish shot stopper.
Yeah, that was really good build-up play. The ball from Berengay, the run from Hingett, this cut back, that's perfection. Henry Hoare perhaps just took a moment too long labouring on that first touch. Just allowed enough time for Curto to come off his line, close the space. Voyitzer as well, but really good from Roar. That looks promising.
You can see here the MacArthur defence and keeper looking into the sun as they defend the corner. And it's nearly in for an own goal, off the post. And now in amongst the battle for position, a free kick is given, but luck's a fortune for MacArthur because that was two defenders kicking it into each other, and the woodwork was there to bail them out.
It would have been a series of unfortunate events. Fortunately for MacArthur, not to be.
So a great moment here, an A-League men's debut for Rylan Brownlee, and it's a father-son moment because Royce Brownlee, his father, played for the Brisbane Roar. Let's recap the goal, though, because Rafael Borges Rodriguez's number is up.
Well, a great finish from Borges Rodriguez. He takes a well-deserved rest on the bench, and what a moment.
So Ali Orgler is first to come on. Rafael Borges Rodriguez gets congratulations, having scored his second A-League goal, and Orgler, who is yet to score in the A-League, but had a brief little spell in NPL New South Wales. 5 goals in 10 appearances, and the MACARTHUR hierarchy said, yep, that's enough. Come and do pre-season. You've proven yourself to be a cut above at the next level down. Stay in the A-League mix. So Ali Orgler will be hoping to take his good winter form into summer. And there's Ryland Brownlee, the son of Royce I mentioned. He didn't just play for the Brisbane Roar. He was an NSL-era striker for Brisbane Strikers, Parramatta Power and Marconi, and he also played briefly at the Wellington Phoenix too. So a father-son combination and just a 16-year-old debutant out of the Roar Academy, Grace. It's extraordinary to think he was playing under 14s as recently as 2020.
Unbelievable, that.
Here's a cross on the way from Berengay. If he can get his feet right, Orgler, the sub, not able to intervene, and the ball is booted away. So we've seen Tom Waddingham take the cup by storm. If you're wondering why he's not featuring, he was away with the Australia under-19s, and they played as recently as Thursday over in Spain, so not quite ready yet, but 16-year-old Ryland Brownlee was in the mix to make the under-17 Joey's team that went to the Asian Cup in Thailand, but just missed the cut. Gets his chance in the A-League here, though, and Roar under Ross Aloisi have already shown a commitment to introducing some young talent, so let's see what he can do.
16-year-old, what a moment for him. And although chasing the game, you've got to say, not too much pressure on such young shoulders. I imagine Ross Aloisi would have just said, go out there and do your thing. He's fast, direct.
Here he is on the ball. Brownlee gets the better of one defender. Can't get the better of a second. The whistle goes. It was a foul.
He'll be up against his direct opponent. Boy, it's 10 years his year. Youthful, fresh legs coming on, trying to claw a goal back for Ross Aloisi's side.
Be interesting to see if Borges Rodriguez for Orgler was a straight swap for MACARTHUR. Looks as though for now he is on that right flank, so maybe he's going to cut in a little bit more and favour his left foot. We'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. Roar on the attack in the meantime and trying to force the issue. Here's Mile Uznic, early ball. Here's Brownlee at the edge of the box. Brownlee, good save! And the 16-year-old is able to fire a shot on target and get the save out of someone double his age, 32-year-old Philip Curto.
Well, the early ball was the right idea. I don't think it was quite the delivery that Mile Uznic was looking for, but for Brownlee to get that shot away, the youthful confidence, he's done well on that occasion. Stung the palms of Philip Curto.
Here's Orgler. De Vere, and now Germain off and running. Never went to ground early, went to ground successfully, bounced back up with the ball. Lewis. Neat work by Buietza. Jed Drew. It's been a real live wire for MACARTHUR today. That pass deflected, not his finest. And a free kick given away by Clayton Lewis, but he's quick to apologise.
Feels as though MACARTHUR are starting to pick up a bit more of the momentum in this game.
Win probability has slid all the way in MACARTHUR's favour. So a Brisbane Roar comeback is going to require something special in the heat of the afternoon.
It's going to be the question about Brisbane, about whether they had the depth to carry through, starting really brightly, energetically, but they could maintain that kind of intensity for a full game. It's yet to be seen, but as second half wears on and that win probability suggests otherwise.
And so a big double change coming here for MACARTHUR, not just because of who's coming on, but who's coming off. It's going to be Jake Holman and Lockie Rose entering the game. But crucially, it's a couple of their senior heads. Kieran Backus making way, and Ulysses Davila. So a lot of veteran presence with just over 20 minutes to go is exchanged out here. And Rose, who we know is capable of having the magic touch for goals, 9 in his career, just the one against Brisbane. And Jake Holman, the 22-year-old, playing game number 48. So it's one of those unassuming customers that goes about his work in a business-like fashion. But Grace, what do you make of the decision to take out both Backus and Devere at the same time? Because that's a lot of experience and a lot of maturity to leave the arena in one hit. As we see Holman get his first involvement. Brownlee. Now O'Shea. Jay O'Shea biding his time. Quick 1-2. Hingett. Tangled up the MACARTHUR players coming out of defence, but eventually Lewis got it away. Rose, first involvement, no foul.
To answer your question, Teo, I think it shows a lot of confidence in the side that Mile Stojowski has. Putting on some youthful exuberance, energy late in a game, 20 minutes to play, taking off that kind of experience. Look, I really quite respect the decision.
See the XG count there. MACARTHUR have a couple of point-blank saves from Macklin Freak to blame for why they haven't been able to score more than just the one so far. Just his 20th senior appearance today, Macklin Freak, and he only kept one clean sheet in 4 appearances last campaign. So he'll be hoping the #1 gloves can stay his for the full journey this season. Milosnic, little chip wedge is defended away. Coletti. O'Shea, the man to make something happen. Brownlee. Ball deflected back towards Rose. Brownlee gets a second chance. Trewin. Lots of passes, not much penetration here from Brisbane. Who's got the killer ball? Berengay, the man to do it. Here's the shot. Milosnic deflected away. The defence remains in position, and Orgler is ushering it over the line for what is ultimately a Brisbane throw. That contact. Play continues, and the referee's going to blow it up. Free kick to the Raw outside the penalty area on a dangerous angle.
I like that from referee Jonathan Barrero. Just took a moment to see if advantage could have been played. No doubt it's a foul, just studs on the top of the foot there. Malicious intent behind it, of course, but it is a dangerous position. I think the question you posed, Teo, is a good one about who's going to unleash on for Brisbane. Lots of good, intricate passes connecting, but just that final product.
Maybe a set piece will be the answer. Tommy Aldred has Ivan Vujica marking him at the far post, so there's a bit of a height and a leap discrepancy there potentially. But so much of it will depend on Jay O'Shea's delivery. And don't rule out the ball just sliding in if he hones in on the target direct. Big moment here for the Raw. O'Shea It does go indirect. Doesn't look like there was a touch from any teammates. Jay O'Shea has the inspiration for a Brisbane equaliser.
Well, that's clever from Jay O'Shea, the experienced campaigner. Philip Curto with the sun in his eyes on the Harvey Norman replay. Kai Truan's ducked out of the way, and that's gone straight in. Back on level playing terms here. A really good finish from O'Shea.
Well, he doesn't get anything on the stat sheet for it, but that duck from Kai Truan is as important as the ball going in as anything that's happened in that phase of play.
Oh, it's really clever. Curto with the sun in his eyes. O'Shea really just needed to get that on target. The distraction, the run of Truan was intelligent.
That's 2 goals in 7 games in the A-League against MACARTHUR now for Jay O'Shea, coming off a 9-goal season last campaign. And apologies to MACARTHUR fans, because I kind of spoke it into existence before the free kick race. It was that teasing, as the whistle breaks up play here and denies Lockie Rose. It was that teasing sort of an angle where exactly that sort of thing was possible.
It's that kind of free kick as well, that if you can just get it on target, any little glance in touch can do, but on that occasion, no touch required.
Now Coletti, Raw, Boyd. Here's another look at the foul in the build-up to that Rose chance, which had play whistle dead. As it's cleared away by Aspropotamidis. Can MACARTHUR reload? We spoke about the veteran presence that left the game when De Vere and Bacchus were subbed off. Now it is someone like Clayton Lewis, even though he's on his MACARTHUR debut. He's out there playing game 64. 26 years old. Here's another look at that foul there by Orgler, which had this chance whistled dead.
Just the stud showing on that occasion. Not a great deal in it.
Here's Brownlee with a cross, a deflection. And it's out for a corner kick. Buietza arms out to his teammates. As the corner kick now. Could see Raw turn this around in a jiffy. 15 minutes to go. See the corner count there. Most of that coming from the first half. 8-2 though. Pretty big discrepancy. You see a man in an orange wig, dedicated Raw fan, having made the trip to Campbelltown, urging his team on. Here's the corner. Jay O'Shea, outswinger. Through the box it goes. Coletti first to respond. And now out into space for Truan. You feel like Miles Stojovski is going to learn a lot about his team during the next 14 minutes.
It's a big passage coming up. We spoke about the substitutes and the changes, the experience coming off for MACARTHUR.
Make contact here from Brownlee, and he concedes a foul on Buietza. Those two acquainting themselves. Mentioned in the first half the duel between Rafael Borges Rodriguez and Ivan Buietza. Continues with his substituted replacement. And now Thomas Lavuskov will restart from the back. The wind is still favouring the right of screen, if anything.
We've got to remember as well that one of MACARTHUR's leading goal scorers from last season is on the bench today, and defender Matthew Miller had an excellent year last year converting.
Buietza, Drew, Germain, Hilaire Germain, switching it over to Ali Orgler. Clayton Lewis. Orgler again, able to wrestle out of Truan's tackle. Orgler. Well, there's a reason he waited on the pass, and ultimately he just played it into the heels of Holman. It's a backtracking though. Another sub on the way. You've called for it, Grace. Matthew Miller's coming on. So we get to see him replace Jed Drew here. And Charles Mombois is also on the way. So what are your thoughts on Jed Drew here today? And also the MacArthur Bulls debut of Clayton Lewis, who will be replaced by Mombois here.
I really thought Jed Drew grew into the game, created some really good opportunities for MacArthur. And Clayton Lewis, you can be pleased with that first showing in his new colours. Obviously the assist for that delightful header from Borges Rodriguez.
Well, you mentioned it was Matthew Miller's best goal-scoring season last campaign with 5. He's got 2 in 8 against the Brisbane Roar. They're the equal best opponent he's scored goals against, so maybe he'll have the magic touch here coming on late, the number 44. Roar in the meantime want to go and win it. Markovski, the cutback, and cleared away by Vujica. O'Shea. Truan. Miliusnich needing to play with Berengay, but then it comes unstuck. Yanni Nicolau with a shallow clearance that sees the Roar straight back in possession. Truan, it sits up teasingly, but there's no one advancing just yet. And then coming in after the defence had recovered was Hingett. He's up against Miller. Coletti, awkward pass to control, and Vujica volleys away. Raw still have Alex Parsons, Aaron Reardon and James Nikolovsky available of their outfielders on the bench. MacArthur, by contrast, have brought on all their outfield subs available to them, except for one, Ollie Jones. So 5 new faces thrown into the action by Mile Stajovski. And that takes us into the final 10 minutes with the score 1-1. But a feeling like Raw are on top and getting closer to a second. O'Shea. Brownlee. O'Shea late contact. Referee waves it off. MacArthur can counter. Holman. Germain. Orgler making a run. Germain wants to go central. Ball's going to find its way out to Orgler almost. He's going to engage Truan here. And Truan gets the better of it.
Truan's done well there. Germain driving forward, just looking up, and didn't really have the options and sent the ball really into no one in particular. Just gives the opportunity for the Raw to get their foot on the ball and reset.
So Warren Berengay just stretching there. As he had a word to the bench, it looks as though Alex Parsons is getting his number handed to the 4th official. Question is it Berengay who's going to have to leave the game? Lutrani, the Brisbane assistant coach, having a word to Parsons, who is making his return to the Brisbane Roar after one season at Sydney FC, which involved just 8 appearances, albeit scoring a goal against the Brisbane Roar for his 1 strike in Sky Blue. Long ball by Aldred is overhit. It's not going to prompt the change just yet, though. summons has come to the bench for another player to sprint over and get ready. Aaron Reardon, another potential Brisbane Roar returnee. So it's a couple of old Roar faces born anew. But not just yet. Ball at the edge of the box, and there's a free kick here. Markovski got some heavy contact, and yellow card is out of the pocket for Jonathan Aspropotamidis. And it's a free kick in scoring range here for the Roar.
Well, again, this is a really dangerous area for a free kick, as we have another look at the contact.
Call it, Grace. Is it a yellow, or is Markovski taking risks of his own there?
You know what, that's a really tricky one. To my eye, that's a coming together of a tackle. Legs meeting at the same time. But what it has presented is a really dangerous opportunity for Brisbane to capitalise. I say this will be the right foot of O'Shea, but Mile Jusnic might get another go, but that position right outside the 18-yard box, such a good spot for a free kick.
We saw in the first half Jay O'Shea test the gloves. This time he sends it over the bar, and a real missed opportunity for Brisbane to go in front.
Disappointing on this one from O'Shea. Just hasn't quite got the technique right. Kept his head over the top of the ball to direct that one goalward.
And so this is a great moment for Aaron Reardon. We see Parsons come on as well, making his return to Brisbane Roar. But for Reardon, it's his 5th A-League appearance for the 24-year-old. He last played for Brisbane in April 2019. His journey since then has been to the Gold Coast Knights, Dhaka Mohammedan in Bangladesh, Port Melbourne in Victoria, and then another stint at the Gold Coast Knights. He has well and truly had to earn this recall. And to be honest, it's a fantastic tale of keeping that professional football dream alive. And he's on here with 5 crucial minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Orgler switching to Mombwa. Back to Ali Orgler. We know he's tricky. Can he finish? What a good save! Macklin Freak denies Ali Orgler what would have been his first A-League men's goal with a spectacular diving save.
That is a top shelf save from Macklin Freak. Beautiful technique from Ali Orgler. The fingertips of Freak to steer that outside the far post. That is the best save we've seen today.
Ali Orgler, he was nailing those in NPL New South Wales. He had a great winter. He's come back to the senior team, and he very nearly started his A-League campaign in perfect fashion. MacArthur still have a corner. Holman tumbling to the near post. Germain tries a flick on. Shouts for a handball, shouts for a corner. They all come to nothing. It's a goal kick. It's been an exciting game. The question is, who's going to step up and win it? It was nearly Ali Orgler a moment ago. Now it's the Roar's turn to attack. So many new faces on the pitch. Brownlee knocked off the ball. Orgler waited for the contact. He was able to hold off his marker, but has to go all the way back to Philip Curto. And ultimately it's cleared out.
Oh, huge moments in the game. Orgler thought that was going in for all money, but Macklin Freak, he's been excellent this afternoon.
Here's the Paramount Plus Player Index. It's an aggregation of stats into one number. You see there Macklin Freak, he was top at half-time. I think in the context of the game, he's going to still rank highly. And Jay O'Shea with the equalising goal has taken a clear lead. Clayton Lewis, we mentioned how good he was today. Still a couple of crucial minutes left. We'll revisit those throughout the course of the season. The Paramount Plus player points. Rose. And now motoring down the left side. Holman not able to steer it back from whence it came. Good defending by the Raw initially. Now they've got to play out of defence. O'Shea dispossessed. Mombois. Neat pass to Miller, but then his first touch just ran away from him. Boyitsa has to concede ground.
Necessary defending there by Scott Neville after what was a really good breakaway run rather by Lockie Rose.
Ball out to the right. And Raw win another corner. They've absolutely dominated that stat today. Boyitsa putting it behind once more.
It's a tireless run in. Jay O'Shea in the middle of the park. 35 years young, just pulling the strings and still looking so tidy on the ball.
You can see him shielding his eyes from the sun. Jay O'Shea as he swings this corner kick to the near post, and it was a bold attempt from Kai Truen. High degree of difficulty header. Not able to nestle in the opposite side netting. And that will take us to the last minute of regulation in this game.
Well, it's a good delivery again. Hands on the head from Truen.
Today's game number 80 for him in the A-League men's. He's not scored a goal in his career, so that would have been, well, in his A-League career, that would have been the perfect time for it to nestle in the net, not to be. How many minutes of stoppage will we get at the end of an entertaining contest? Raw trying to win it in the last minute of regulation. Oh, just wide, Milejuznic. MacArthur protests that it was a clean strike, but a corner is the result.
Had quite some venom behind it, that strike from Milejuznic, and he's got that in his arsenal.
Yet another corner for the MacArthur defence to have to deal with. Jay O'Shea marks out a long runner. And the game will tick into stoppage time as the push and shove continues in the 6-yard box. And Aspapotamidis has got to be careful on a yellow card. We've gone into 4 minutes here, and now it's starting to get a little bit frisky between the two teams. I think Bushcock is just trying to get everyone back to business here. He knows he's got a corner to defend. Scott Neville, the other belligerent in this little spat, has been called out to speak to the referee.
Aspapotamidis not too happy about something. The shirt of Scott Neville there, he turned around. Obviously not happy with some exchange in the 6-yard box there.
And so they're still marking each other as the corner swings in. Off the pack of players, and the referee's seen a foul in there. It was Bushcock knocked over. And so 1 of 4 minutes stoppage has expired. And the Raw miss out on a good set-piece opportunity.
Just tempers starting to flare as the game ticks on to stoppage time. MacArthur don't look to be in too much of a hurry.
Are they the happier party with a point? Yanni Nicolau to take the throw. The home fans certainly don't want the Bulls to settle for a draw. They're urging them on here. You can hear the shouting. About as loud as it's been all game. Diving header from Aldred, cleared it from Rose. Germain, Orgler. He's been the closest to winning it for MacArthur. Goes down here, no foul. Half of stoppage time has expired. Ball is booted out into the stand here at Campbelltown. And Germain back, helping out his defence here. And now Markovsky is blown up for a foul. That will allow MACARTHUR to slow the pace down once again.
I don't think Markovsky knew too much about Holman coming in there. It was a really solid shoulder. But again, MACARTHUR don't look to be in any sort of a hurry.
There's been barely any football played in the 3 minutes of stoppage time. A lot of pondering over the restart. High ball, Orgler. Rose gets to the ball. Macklin Freak's got to backtrack here. Ali Orgler, can MACARTHUR grab it at the death? No juice behind the cross. Aldred clears and now not quite away. Raw inviting the pressure on. Holman. Still Holman. A hard one header. Miller. And it deflects out for a corner kick. Macklin Freak's day's work is not yet done.
The desperation stakes here for Brisbane. Bodies flying to get themselves in front of the incoming shots.
And so as we tick towards the end of stoppage time, Ali Orgler has a corner here for MACARTHUR. The referee is just holding play up. Says yes, continue. Here comes the corner kick. To win it for MACARTHUR. Good defensive header away. Mombois, Brownlee. Referee not looking at the watch just yet. Long ball up the pitch. Is this Raw's moment? Voyetza, reliable, hooks it out for a throw.
That was an excellent defensive header.
And now Markovsky on his A-League men's debut. Coletti. Truan. Last rights of this one. Can the Raw grab a winner? Jay O'Shea. If someone can make it happen, it's him. Another cross in. And vital defending. Mile Usnic walks away deflated. And both teams will have to settle for a draw. An entertaining finish.